there is one thing no modern weapon can survive: losing its signal. Right now, military planners are spending billions of dollars building faster missiles and smarter drones. Yet the most important battlefield in modern war cannot be photographed. It cannot be occupied. It exists entirely in the invisible space between every sensor, satellite, drone, and weapon. And if that invisible connection disappears, the most powerful military hardware ever created instantly becomes far less dangerous. A drone without a signal is just plastic. A missile without a signal is just expensive metal. We are witnessing the absolute collapse of precision warfare economics. In Ukraine, an invisible signal turned a $300,000 precision artillery shell into a blind piece of flying metal. It drove the cost of a single successful hit to nearly $2 million. The easiest way to destroy a weapon may not be to hit it. It may be to convince it that reality itself is wrong. Introduction. For most of human history, warfare was a contest of physical terrain. Armies fought over rivers, mountain passes, and bridges. Today, that paradigm has been completely replaced. The electromagnetic spectrum is the new terrain. It is invisible. It has no natural features, and it occupies the entire operational environment simultaneously. A U.S. Army Brigade combat team fields over 2,500 pieces of equipment dependent on this spectrum just to navigate, communicate, and track targets. Strip that signal away, and a modern military formation does not fight at reduced effectiveness. It reverts to a level of capability closer to 1944 than 2026. A $100 million jamming system now makes more strategic sense than a $100 million tank, because a tank destroys hardware. A transmitter makes all hardware useless simultaneously. The kill chain. To understand why, you need to look at the hidden architecture connecting the battlefield. The military calls it the kill chain. Under the Pentagon's JADC2 doctrine, that sequence runs through three basic functions. Command node fuses inputs, weapon fires. In a clean environment, this process takes under 60 seconds. Now remove one link, not the sensor, not the weapon, just the data link between them. The sensor keeps detecting. The weapon remains ready, but the current stops flowing entirely. Think of it like the human nervous system. The sensor is the eye. The weapon is the fist. The spectrum is the central nervous system. You don't need to break the fist to stop the punch. You just have to sever the nerve. A conventional strike on a command post requires a munition, risks a pilot, and destroys exactly one building. An electronic attack on the signal makes that entire building operationally irrelevant, intact, unharmed, and completely isolated. The reality. Proof from Ukraine. Russia entered the 2022 invasion with the largest deployed tactical electronic warfare capability in decades. Its objective was simple: attack the network. The Krasukha 4 is a heavy broadband jamming platform targeting the X-band and Q-band frequencies used by airborne radar and satellites. It can jam radar at ranges exceeding 200 kilometers. It does not destroy aircraft. It removes their ability to see. The R330ZH Zhitel targets GPS and satellite communications across a 30-kilometer suppression zone. Inside that zone, precision-guided munitions start behaving like unguided conventional artillery. The data, verified by the Royal United Services Institute, shocked military planners. Active GPS jamming reduced the accuracy of American-supplied Excalibur artillery shells to a rate where only 1 in 19 rounds struck its intended target. 4 out of 9 extended range JDAM smart bombs missed their targets entirely. The Bayraktar TB2 drone, devastatingly effective in the opening weeks of the war, was rendered largely irrelevant within months as control frequencies were denied. And in March of 2024, a single Russian jamming event in Kaliningrad disrupted more than 1,600 commercial aircraft over Eastern Europe. In just 2 days, one $15 million jamming vehicle, operated for a week, can redirect or neutralize more precision munitions than its own replacement cost, without firing a single round. Jamming versus spoofing. The simplest way to attack a signal is to overwhelm it. This is jamming. Imagine trying to have a conversation inside a stadium packed with screaming fans. The words still exist. The listener still exists. The noise simply prevents communication. The defender knows something is wrong because systems go dark. Spoofing is different. Spoofing is control. Instead of noise, the attacker broadcasts a false signal that the receiver cannot distinguish from the authentic one. The GPS receiver on a munition does not stop working. It works perfectly, but toward the wrong target. No alarm triggers, no warning lights flash. The system reports nominal operation all the way to impact. Iran demonstrated this in 2011 with an American RQ-170 Sentinel stealth drone, one of the most classified systems in the US inventory. They didn't shoot it down, they landed it. EW operators fed the aircraft spoofed GPS coordinates, convincing its navigation system it was approaching its home base. It landed precisely where the false signal directed. The visceral consequence: 0340 hours. Eastern Ukraine. A Ukrainian artillery battalion has been tracking a Russian armor concentration for 6 hours. Targeting solution is confirmed. 3 HIMARS launch vehicles are staged. At 0341, the targeting tablet loses its satellite uplink. The drone feed freezes. But the GPS indicators on the HIMARS guidance systems remain green. What they do not report is that the signal they are receiving has been shifted 340 meters from its true source. The fire mission is authorized. 6 rockets are fired. 3 land in the empty target grid, 3 land in an open field, 340 meters northeast. The armor concentration takes partial losses, but it survives. At first light, it disperses. The rockets cost $100,000 each. The spoofing operation cost fuel and operator hours. By the time the after-action report is written, the Krasukha 4 that generated the false signal has already relocated. It is operating from a completely safe position 60 kilometers away. No dramatic explosion, no visible enemy. Just a battlefield outcome that suddenly makes no sense. The paradox: militaries understand this threat. Enormous resources are being poured into encrypted GPSM code, mesh networks, and AI-assisted anomaly detection. But none of these solutions eliminates the attack surface, because every new sensor creates another node. Every node creates another connection. Every connection creates another entry point for an adversary who has been studying that network for years. The same technologies making modern militaries more powerful are also making them deeply dependent. The battlefield is becoming smarter, more automated, and infinitely more fragile. The more connected an army becomes, the more targets it creates inside its own network. The biggest gun in the inventory means nothing if the signal that aims it has already been quietly redirected, and the adversary who understood that first did not need a bigger gun, they needed a better transmitter.